everybody! Today we're going to make egg tarts. Let's get baking. Okay, so for this recipe, you'll need first for the custard, 50 milliliters of milk, 2 egg yolks, 23 grams of white sugar, and 100 milliliters of heavy cream. Then for the pastry dough, you will need 125 grams of flour, 25 grams of powdered sugar, 35 grams of butter, 65 milliliters of water, and then an additional varying amount of butter, which I'll get to talking about later. For the custard, I've got the 2 egg yolks, and then I'm going to add the sugar and whisk to emulsify and dissolve. Then add the milk and heavy cream, whisking again until emulsified. And then we're going to cover this with saran wrap and chill until needed later. Then for the pastry dough, sift the flour and powdered sugar. Then we're going to add the butter. Now you can use a food processor here, but I thought it would be more fun for myself to use my fingies. But you want to mix the butter until all the flour is essentially coated in the butter. Then add the water, and then I'm going to use a spatula here at first while it's super sticky, and then get back in there with my hands and knead it together until it's no longer tacky. Then you're going to flour a clean working surface and your pastry dough and roll it out into a sheet that's about 1/8 of an inch or 3 or so millimeters. Then this is what I meant when I said a various amount of butter, because I don't know how much butter I'm using here. The goal is just to cover the entire thing with butter. And if you want to use more butter than me, who am I to tell your heart no? But once it's buttered, take one side and fold it to the center, being extra careful not to rip it like I did. Then bring the other side and fold it over. Then do the same with the bottom, folding it over to the middle, and then the top folding it over the bottom. Then cover the dough with saran or cling wrap and chill for at least 1 hour. Then after an hour, it's time to rinse and repeat. Flour your dough on a floured workspace, roll it out, and once it's rolled out, cover in butter. But this time, we're only going to fold the 2 sides and not do the top and bottom. Once they're folded, cover again and chill for at least 30 minutes. And then, you guessed it, one more time with the flouring, rolling, and buttering. But this time, once it's buttered, we're going to roll it into a log. Once it's rolled up, cover and chill for a final 30 minutes. Then once it's chilled, you're going to want to cut off portions to take and mold into a muffin or cupcake tray. Now I underestimated the amount I needed for each mold, so I would estimate the amount I used for each of these was about 2 knuckle lengths, so I would guess about 1 3/4 of an inch or about 4.5 millimeters that you're going to need. But you want to push the dough into the mold and making sure that it's not too thin or too thick, because if it's too thin, the custard could cook through the shell, and if it's too thick, you might overcook the custard and undercook the dough. Then once the molds are ready, pour in the custard about 90% of the way. Finally, toss the tray into an oven set to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 240 degrees Celsius for 20 to 25 minutes. You want the outside to be browned and crispy and the custard to be a little jiggly once it comes out. Then once they're done, there you have it. Easy egg tarts. But of course, the cut and taste test. Now I baked mine for only 20 minutes, and you'll see here that below the custard, the dough is just undercooked, which I don't mind. I kind of like undercooked dough, but I think another 5 minutes and these would have been perfect. The outside was still super crunchy and the custard was set, and I thought they were great. But anywho, if you enjoyed this recipe or would like to see a recipe, subscribe and let us know in the comments. Thank you, and we'll see you in the kitchen next time.